If you're a new father navigating the first year of parenthood, if you're at your wit's end, if you're wondering when this will ever get any easier, stop what you're doing and listen. I'm Brad, a father of two and a former biologist. I evaluate parenthood through an ancestral lens and talk about what that means for modern fathers. In this video, we're going to talk about something that every new father needs during the intense early days of parenthood, and that is emotional resilience. Yes, it's challenging. Parenting is the hardest thing you will likely ever do, and that is because it's probably the most important thing you will ever do. Unfortunately, many new fathers are not prepared for how to deal with that hard reality. But you are not alone, and you will get through this. By the end of this video, you'll understand why it's okay that it feels tough right now, how these challenges are just part of the journey, and how maintaining perspective can make all the difference. First off, let's talk about the fact that this is temporary. When you're in the midst of sleepless nights and endless feedings, it might feel like the exhaustion will never end. But remember, this phase is just that, a phase. All of us have the capacity to do hard things, and we can do pretty much anything for a short amount of time. You can honestly do them for a long time too, and while this might feel long, I promise it isn't. The good thing and the bad thing about babies is they are constantly changing. When they're especially young, change happens on a scale of days and weeks, not even months. So just when you think you're at the end of your rope, you're at your wit's end, can't take another minute of this, it shifts and a weight lifts off your shoulders. Each day is one step closer to a new routine, a bit more sleep, and a little less chaos. Keeping that in perspective can be hard, especially when older parents start to hit you when you're down with all the time-tested sayings. Blink and you'll miss it. Joy every second. It all goes by so fast. To be honest, I never once felt that. When I used to hear that, it actually felt so disingenuous because for us, it was a struggle, and that struggle did not feel fast. It felt slow. I was counting minutes, not days. Even now, my oldest is 7. I do not look back at her newborn phase and think that it felt fast. It's over, it feels far away, but it definitely didn't feel fast. There is another saying though that resonates with me more than those other ones, and it is this: the days are long, the years are short. This is parenthood in a nutshell. Grind and you push, and somehow you make it happen. And at the end of it, you're amazed at all the time that has actually passed. But in the moment, when time is slowing down on you, when you're struggling, when you're drowning, when you feel like you can barely stay afloat, remember that this is temporary. There's a misconception that parenthood is hard at first and then easier later. This is understandable because there are existential differences between taking care of a tiny baby that relies on you for literally everything to taking care of a bigger kid that, physically can do a lot of stuff on their own. But any parent will tell you that it never gets easy. So don't fall into the trap of thinking that you're heading towards a finish line. The things that feel hard now will shift over time, and the struggles that you're facing in the present moment, whether it's holding a crying baby or dealing with a torturous sleep regression, will evolve. As your baby grows, the intensity of the early days will give way to something that feels easier. But when you say goodbye to those challenges, you're also saying goodbye to something that you loved about that stage, something that lit your heart up inside. And one day you realize they don't do that thing anymore, that the last time already happened and you didn't even realize it when it was happening. Challenges and joy are interwoven together through this entire journey. You can't lose one thing and keep another, so try not to wish this time away. Each stage of parenting brings its own set of hurdles and rewards, so embrace a perspective that challenge and joy are a natural part of growth for you and your child. It's also important to remember that parenting is supposed to be hard. Have you ever worked so hard at something, really put every ounce of yourself into it, and come out on the other side? If your answer is yes, I'm guessing that you look back at that time and feel really proud of what you did, proud of the accomplishment, but also proud that you proved to yourself that you could put in the work. The difficulty of parenthood is no different. It's not a reflection of your ability or your love. It is a testament of the significance of the job that you're doing. Embrace the hard parts as part of the process. They're shaping you into a more resilient parent and fortifying the bond that you're building with your child. At the end of the day, struggles are just part of the journey, and they make the moments of joy and connection even more meaningful. Remember, you're not failing, you're growing. Finally, and maybe most importantly, because it doesn't get talked about a lot, let's talk about perspective. Raising a child is one of the most important and demanding roles you'll ever undertake, and for many of us, it's our true legacy in life. To me, that makes sense. Like all other living beings, we have a biological drive to reproduce, to have kids. It is literally what we are here to do. What complicates this is we all live in a world that is constantly trying to sell us hacks and shortcuts and convince us to buy some product that is going to unburden us from the challenges of parenthood. Now, I wouldn't lie if I wasn't also enticed by some of those things, but every time a challenge gets lifted off your plate, you also lose out. You lose out on proving to yourself that you could do it, on investing yourself in your child. And you lose out on the compounding effect that that investment has on your relationship with your child over time. This early period of parenting is just one chapter of a much larger story. The love, care, and resilience that you're showing now will have a lasting impact on your child's life. Your dedication today lays the foundation for who your child will later become. Every sleepless night, every challenging moment, those are all contributing to a future filled with memories and deeper connection, all because you put in the work. So remember, when it feels like you are just surviving, you are actually building your legacy. You are forging a relationship of love and strength and inseparability with your child that will last their entire life. If you're a father, I'd love to hear how you have managed the challenges of parenthood and what keeps you going. Drop a comment below. Thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing you on the next video.